can you pull together a big living and dining room space and not lose sight of treasures collected over a lifetime?
I need help.
That's the dilemma 3 designers face on today's Designers Challenge. Which of our experts will give our homeowner a room she's proud to share with family and friends?
I'm ashamed of this room.
It's all coming up next. Welcome to Designers Challenge. I'm Chris Harrison. Julie Mitchik looked at many houses before falling in love with the contemporary style home she purchased 2 years ago. A devoted art collector, Julie has decorated the entire house except for the living and dining rooms. Both are in a large area that Julie considers a great room, but she'd like the space to feel more intimate for gatherings of family and friends. Let's meet our homeowner now.
When I first saw this house, I immediately fell in love with the architecture. I love the fact that there are no 90-degree corners. The favorite room in my house is what I call the atrium, the space that overlooks the view. You look out and there are trees, the sky, flowers. It's absolutely beautiful. It's the focal point of the house. My bedroom is pretty well finished and I like the way it looks. I love my kitchen. I even love doing dishes because I get to look out the window. I have 5 children and they're giving me more and more grandchildren. I want to make it as inviting and welcoming as possible. I've lived with a disability most of my life. I had polio when I was just a child. So one of the things that's important to me is that the room be wheelchair accessible. It's not enough to be functional and it's not enough to look nice. I want the two together. As you walk in through the front door, the first thing you see is this great room. The ceilings slope towards the middle and go up high on either side. And the sides of the room also are not parallel to each other.
The unusual dimensions make arranging Julie's furniture tricky.
I need a comfortable area to sit and talk with friends. I'd like to be able to watch TV. The wall unit has beautiful rosewood on it, but it doesn't quite fit the space.
Julie wants to hold on to treasured antiques, but she needs help making them all work with her more modern pieces and artwork.
The painting on the wall is one of my favorites. I love the colors, and I wouldn't mind designing the room around those colors. I like the fireplace very much, but it's kind of lost in the room. I'd like to be able to sit around it and to make it more part of the room. There are recessed lights all the way along the periphery of the room, but there is no lighting in the middle of the room. So if I want to sit and read, there is no lighting available for that. This is the dining room. I think I'm going to need some more chairs, but I don't really want to get rid of the chairs I already have.
The marble floor in the dining room makes it easy for Julie to move around on her scooter, but she's willing to lose the carpet in the living room if it would help pull the space together.
Somehow I'd like to merge the museum quality with a home-like quality.
To create a great room that's intimate enough for having a friend over and accommodating enough for hosting a party, Julie set aside $40,000 for labor and materials. Now let's meet the designers that are eager to creatively solve this challenge. First up is Mark Cutler of Mark Cutler Design. Mark has designed homes for his clients across the globe and believes in creating style for life.
We see design sort of as a form of portraiture, so that people really see the personality of our client and not our ability to convince people to do what we tell them to do. I think the thing about Julie's project that kind of puzzles me a little bit is the relationship she has between the dining room chair fabric and that painting. I think the painting is fabulous. The fabric, we've just got to find a way to go. I think maybe a well-placed spilt cup of coffee could be the trick.
Our second expert is Quentin Rance of Quentin Rance Enterprises. A fellow of the Chartered Society of Designers, Great Britain, Quentin has over 35 years' experience in design and remodeling.
One needs the client to bring in their personal touches, photographs, accessories, little things that they've brought up over the years to ensure that the room becomes the part of their home and not a showroom. With Julie's project, the ultimate aim is to have a feeling of comfort, togetherness, and still using all the pieces that she wants to incorporate into the room.
Our final designer is Estelle Javen of Estelle Javen and Associates. With over 35 years experience, Estelle specializes in Asian art and antiques.
I love the beginning of a job where we're actually doing the drawings and shopping. And then the second stage is pretty interesting too, where the client says, I hate it. And you sort of start all over again and then go from there. That's what makes design interesting. With Julie's project, I loved some of her artwork. And the space reminded me of an ocean liner, and that's the way it should look when it's finished, sort of clean and streamlined, but glowing.
How will our designers make this great room a great space for gatherings of any size?
I've actually found 6 more chairs of the same one that you have the design, which was discontinued.
You did? I can't believe that.
And we couldn't get more of your chairs and needed more, so I came up with the bench idea.
What about the dining room chairs?
You're going to hate me for this.
Stay tuned as the experts present their solutions when Designers Challenge returns. Welcome back to Designers Challenge. Julie has challenged our designers to create a great room in her home that makes family and friends feel at home. After meeting with Julie to get a sense of her needs, our experts went to work on their design plans. Today, they're ready to present their ideas for the first time. Kicking things off is designer Mark Cutler, who would tweak what Julie already has to create a fresh look that reflects her personality.
Our idea is pretty much just to recycle everything you have, maybe refinish a few things, recover a few things, and it's going to feel like a completely new room.
Mark would move the piano over near the TV and reconfigure the wall unit to almost wrap around it.
This is sort of our entertainment music area, and I thought what better than to use that incredible string chair you have, which sits like a harp. And then in the middle, I've done this seating area here, which incorporates the 2 wooden sofas that you have now. One of them relates to this daytime area, becomes a really comfortable spot to watch TV, and then this other relates a little bit more to the fireplace. I decided to refinish the oak to a more natural brown color, and then to do the reupholstery in this dark chocolate velvet.
End tables would help make the sofas appear bigger than they really are.
Your existing coffee table is going to be here, and then I designed these small little cocktail tables that will sit side to side of these 2 chairs. I've sort of cannibalized other rooms of yours to bring what I think is some great lamps into this space.
Do you think they'll all go together?
Absolutely.
It'll look like
Absolutely.
it belongs.
Mark would paint the walls a pale blue and cover the windows with a floor-to-ceiling wall of sheer fabric that blocks out the harsh UV rays.
And this is see-through?
It is.
An infill panel of Macassar ebony fronts the fireplace, and Julie's iron sculpture goes atop a mahogany combination sideboard and room divider.
I always thought that it would look best against a plain wall.
I actually beg to differ a little. I love the idea of having it transparent so you see other things behind it, and I think it creates a different sort of porthole effect.
Rice paper globes over Julie's existing dining set would add texture and fun to the space. Mark has no plans to change the table, but would reupholster the chairs in leather.
I know there've been all sorts of discussions about how fabulous that the purple works off of the painting, but I think the wonderful thing about the painting is just the sheer number of colors there are to work with.
A pair of stone urns on pedestals will turn Julie's shell piece into a focal point.
We'll put a light inside the urn shooting up, so here we'll have sort of these areas of light that'll wash up side to side of the shell. It's going to introduce just a little bit of glamour.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It was an absolute pleasure.
Next is designer Quentin Rance, who uses furniture to accentuate the unusual architecture of the space.
I've described this as the butterfly room because of the shape of the room with no right-angled walls. The main seating I've actually positioned now towards the fireplace area with the television unit next to it. There's doors that slide open which operate by remote control. It will take, if necessary, a full-size 60-inch television. Often you have a display cabinet on either side.
The kids will like pushing the button for the remote control.
Well, maybe we'll have to find a hiding place. The main upholstery, as I say, sits opposite the television in the fireplace with 2 swivel chairs which can be rotated if we wanted to look out to the pool area. The seats would be in the stripe, and the plain would be used on the back.
The colors are great, and the feeling of the fabric is really nice.
Well, they're soft and they're practical.
Quentin relocates Julie's antique desk behind the sofa, where she can use it as a display area or as a writing desk. The pillow moves side with it bent up to match the sofa.
Antique, this is a bit light in design for the modern upholstery that we're using.
Instead, Quentin suggests using more modern stone tables. Beveled mirrors in a chevron design would fill the area above the fireplace.
I really like that because it mirrors the design on the doors and the windows.
The dining room gets a sleek new sideboard. An aluminum chandelier would tie in with the new entertainment center.
The new tabletop I would like to recommend is a 10-foot by 4-foot table. I've actually found 6 more chairs of the same one that you have, the design, which was discontinued 30 years.
I can't believe that.
We can have a set of 12 chairs.
Incredible.
The new chairs would be upholstered to match the existing ones. Beige paint on the walls and new carpet in the dining area would warm things up, especially with a new lighting scheme.
You have arrangements made for reading lamps?
The candlelights would be the reading lights.
A light box would illuminate the perimeter of the ceiling to create a soft, pleasant ambiance.
Thank you so much.
Well, it's been a lot of fun.
Our final presentation comes from Estelle Javen, whose eclectic design features a dramatic glass wall.
I wanted a rolling design on this wall because of the rectilinear feeling of this room. It's called Ancient Spirit, and it's all glass. The artist does this in carved glass and appliques it to the wall. You're almost looking into an ocean of colors.
A TV on a swivel pulls out from behind a sliding glass door. For seating, Estelle gives a contemporary sofa a built-in look.
The sofa fabric is chenille, and you may feel it. It's so wonderful. It feels great. I made a burled maple surround to give the sofa some depth. In there, these tops lift and there's storage.
What are these little tables made of?
Wood, because you want them movable. And I thought it would work well with your existing table, which is very traditional. That's the chair I was telling you about that brings this wonderful green in, because that green, I think, brings your outdoors into the room nicely.
3 swivel chairs surround Julie's end table. For lighting, Estelle would install ceiling fixtures that can be adjusted with the yardstick.
If you change your art or do anything, this lighting will work. Coming into the dining room now, I'm using your existing chrome-based table, but I'm putting a gutsier top on it. It's glass, it's going to be a thicker top and slightly larger. And the credenza will give you a ton of storage and also serving on there. The chandelier is a wonderful thing. It's all Murano glass, and the light flows through it and around it and above it. And we couldn't get more of your chairs and needed more, so I came up with the bench idea, and that will seat 3 people very easily.
The bench, along with Julie's chairs, would be upholstered in black and turquoise.
We have this gorgeous, gorgeous rug, and that rug basically allows the dining room to float in a pool of marble.
Instead of traditional drapes on the windows, Estelle would frame the view with 3/4 columns, pleated with fabric top and bottom.
All the walls will be varying degrees of the same color. The living room will be a lighter tone. The dining room, just to render it cozy, will be a slightly darker tone. We're not minimalist, but we are contemporary. We're warm. It's been a great pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Julie has a lot to ponder now that she's heard 3 great plans for her great room. Which designer will get the nod? She'll reveal her choice when Designer's Challenge returns.
I thought I was giving the designers a challenge, but you've turned the tables on me. The challenge is going to be up to me now to decide what to do.
Welcome back to Designer's Challenge. It's been a week since Julie heard 3 plans to create an inviting unified great room in her modern home. Which plan gave her the blend of intimacy and space she desired? It's time to find out.
After a lot of thought, I've decided to go with Estelle Javen. And my reason is that I think she has the most creative use of space.
Work gets started on the walls. Getting the richness Estelle is after is a two-person operation. The trim gets a fresh coat as well. Estelle's original design included a dramatic glass wall, but to keep costs down, she opted for custom shoji screens instead. And although Estelle planned to keep the dining room table, she ultimately designed sturdier stainless steel bases with a custom glass top. Today, she's taking Julie to meet Susan Barnard, an owner of the shop where metal comes in all shapes and sizes. Estelle designed two square satin bases to hold up 272 pounds of glass that is 90 inches long and 50 inches wide.
We put a nice miter cut in here so that when the two pieces of tubing join together, you won't even know it was ever welded together there. We're using the stainless steel, a very heavy wall. As you can see, it takes a lot of force to get through the stainless steel metal.
Yeah.
How much is the whole table base going to weigh?
Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds. I'll multiply this by 12, and that'll give you a rough idea as to what your base is going to weigh. Romero is working on the top portion of your table. All the pieces are pre-fit to make sure that everything lines up.
So it's really a hand process all the way.
Extremely, extremely. It'll probably take him about 20 minutes to get this one piece done.
Takes time.
Correct, it does, yes.
You know that.
That it does. When it comes out of this department, it'll go to our polishing department, and what they will do is they will grind this all down to where there is no seam, there is no bead of weld there at all. Now, this is the first of the two table bases that we are creating for you. You can see where all the welding has been removed, and it will be removed on the insides, corners as well. The final process will be to put a hand finish on it to achieve the satin look that we're putting on your table.
That's amazing.
Now, the coupe de grace, I think, is the glass itself. It has been hand finished and hand colored. It pulls light so beautifully.
The design is just beautiful. It's going to match the chairs perfectly. And the glass is just out of this world.
It's a flawless piece of jewelry.
As close as we can get.
I'm so impressed. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's an amazing process.
Now that Julie's dining room table is near completion, it won't be long until she can enjoy her remodeled great room. But will it be the artful mix of the old and new she envisioned? We'll be back with the final results when Designer's Challenge returns. Welcome back to Designer's Challenge. It's been many long months since construction began on Julie Mitchik's great room. With a budget of $40,000, designer Estelle Javen was challenged to make a space with no straight lines into a cozy, colorful haven for relaxing and entertaining. Were her efforts a success? It's time to find out.
It was delightful working with Estelle. She is really experienced, and she was willing to listen to my ideas and to incorporate them in her design. And I feel very, very happy with the result.
Well, Julie, here we are at last.
Wow, what a difference! One of the things I really appreciate about the entire design is that it's wheelchair accessible and also beautiful. You've proven that the two are not mutually exclusive.
Well, the desk, it's an interesting piece.
I grew up in England, and this was my desk that I studied on when I was a little girl.
Well, although it's very traditional, we always want a room to have a little bit of something that isn't brand spanking new. We used a lot of the same things. We didn't change the floors. We didn't change the carpeting. We kept the chairs. The fabric was existing, and all we did was puff it up from underneath in the back. One of the tie-ins was this beautiful, beautiful table.
I never imagined that I would have something this unique and this beautiful. That light fixture is a classic. I had sold it together with my previous home, and I was lucky enough to buy it back.
Well, these draperies are a rather interesting fabric. They just kiss the floor. The fabric is a silk, that wonderful bronzy look. The Qing console is the thing, I think, that ties everything together. It's an open-pored oak attached so that it floats to the wall. All of this is a diffused metal, which takes on the color of the stainless steel that we did for the base of the table.
It's perfect for me at the height I need it when I'm on my scooter.
Well, the walls are rather an interesting feature. They're very, very textured. This wall has more paint on it, it's darker, although it does really play up the painting beautifully. This center wall over there is darker too, and then we did the screens on the other end of the room, and that all came together to bring the room into more of a friendly, comfortable look. It now feels like one room. They're very, very light in weight, and they slide rather easily, revealing the all-important television set.
This is perfect for me. I only see the TV when I want to, and otherwise there's this peaceful shoji screen that really softens the room.
These chairs swivel, so you can talk to a person here, or you can turn around and you can watch TV. The fabric has a two-color look to it, and there's a softness to it, as does the sofa, which is ultra suede. Here we are with the hanging console. Now you're getting this circle going around the room at this height.
Estelle has displayed some of the pieces Julie's collected, allowing Julie to switch them out as she desires.
The chandelier, called Oh Mima. I don't know what else you can say about it. It's beautiful.
Estelle, I'm really very happy. I'm very grateful to you for what you've done. You made it all come together, a peaceful, welcoming, serene environment. Thank you so very, very much.
I enjoyed doing it. Thank you, Julie.
Thanks.
Designer Estelle Javen masterfully combined Julie's love of art, glass, and metal into one magnificent room that really makes a statement. Thanks for joining us on Designers Challenge. We'll see you next time when we put 3 more designers to the test. I'm Chris Harrison.